It's been an incredibly tough period of mourning for Britons, Australians and indeed people right across the world who are still coming to terms with the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. Joining me now is Spiked Online's chief political writer, Brendan O'Neill. Brendan, it's clear that in the UK and even here, of course, in Australia, the vast majority of people are grieving for the loss of one of the greatest leaders of our time. But we know some people are already raising questions about what the future might look like for the monarchy and what direction King Charles's reign might take given his past forays into areas like climate, for instance. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it's a very difficult time for the monarchy in this country. I think it's a very difficult time for the establishment. I think the establishment here hasn't quite clocked how much they are going to miss the Queen now that she's gone. She was our connection with the past. She was our connection with values that have fallen out of fashion, but I think are very important, like duty and stoicism and loyalty, all those things which are now slightly unfashionable in our narcissistic era. She was our thread with history. And now that she's gone, I think the monarchy itself is going to struggle because Charles and William are obsessed with modernising rather than protecting those kinds of traditions. And I think the establishment more broadly is going to recognise that there's a huge hole in terms of their leadership and their ability to govern the nation. So they're all in for a bit of a shock, especially, I think, the monarchy and the question of what happens next with that institution in particular.
They're interesting comments. Now, Charles is also the oldest monarch to ascend to the throne. Is this a concern for the stability of the monarchy?
I think with Charles, the age is a problem. The Queen lived a very long time. She reigned for a very long time, 70 years, the longest reigning monarch in the history of the country, and the third longest reigning monarch in world history, I think. So Charles's age is an issue. I think, as you alluded to earlier, his politics are an issue as well. He has been a very interventionist Prince of Wales. He has intervened in political discussions around climate change. We know that he used to write letters to ministers making certain suggestions about policy and how to do things. That's not what we want in a monarch. We don't want an interfering monarch. And the great thing about the Queen is that she understood her role very well, that it was constitutional, of course, but also ceremonial. And she kept her counsel for 70 long years. She didn't express her views. She didn't express her emotions. She kept a very fine line between her private life and her public role. Charles, I don't think, will be able to do that. And that could pose problems for the constitution of this country.
Just quickly, Brendan, I want your thoughts on the monarch as a lasting institution. In particular, what happens to countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, who are having this debate around whether or not they should become a republic?
Well, I'm a Republican, but I'm a Republican who had an enormous amount of respect for the Queen. And I strongly believe that a lot of people felt an attachment to the Queen because it was the Queen, because of the woman herself, who she was, what she represented. I'm not sure that many people feel such a strong bond to the monarchy more broadly. And so now that the Queen has gone, that one person, I do think there will be a lot of discussion in Australia and probably even here in the UK about what kind of monarchy we want and whether we want a monarchy at all. So after the Queen, I think everything is up for discussion now.
Brendan, thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.